You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Right now, we'll talk about the protesters. Thousands of protesters, folks, flooded the streets at the same intersection where George Floyd was killed, and that took place, the protest yesterday afternoon. They packed the area and were also spread out to try to be socially distant. Now, officers then showed up in riot gear. Y'all can roll the video, please. Officers showed up in riot gear and started firing tear gas and flash grenades as protesters hurled rocks, water bottles, and anything they could get their hands on towards the officers. Remember yesterday, Nekima Levy-Armstrong, a civil rights attorney with the Racial Justice Network, she was on with us. She could barely hear us because the crowd was so loud. And so she joins us right now along with Leslie Redmond, president of the Minneapolis NAACP. Nekima, first and foremost, people are still protesting today, but how long were you out there yesterday, and what precipitated Minneapolis police all of a sudden using tear gas and firing rubber bullets?
I was out there from about 5 p.m. until roughly 8 p.m. And it was a peaceful protest. I mean, thousands of people. It was actually the largest protest that I've ever been a part of. And it was amazing to see so many people out wearing their masks, standing up for justice. And the reality is that there were some folks who are, of course, extremely angry and outraged at what George Floyd experienced. And those people stayed around after the protest ended. And some of them broke windows out of the 3rd precinct. Some of them also, put graffiti on some of the walls around the precinct. And after a period of time, suddenly we heard a loud boom. And then we saw flashes of light and then smoke clouds, which were tear gas being thrown at protesters. There weren't any warnings. Folks just started experiencing being tear gassed. Police later shot rubber bullets and projectiles at people as well. They were in full riot gear.
And obviously, people have been talking about how that happened, but you didn't see the same reaction to cops when you had protesters at a state country.
Absolutely. I mean, we know that as people of color, particularly Black people, when we are rising up and we are standing up and protesting against police violence, we are going to be subjected to the potential for police abuse and harassment. I saw the same thing in Ferguson. We've had the same types of incidences happen in Minnesota when we've been protesting. So it doesn't come as a surprise that they're going to be fully ready and treat us like we're enemies of the state, even though the whole reason that we're out there is to protest the conduct of state actors. So it's really ridiculous that protesters are treated this way. The overwhelming majority are peaceful. And even the ones who are upset about what's going on have a right to be upset because of the fact that George Floyd was unnecessarily murdered by the Minneapolis Police Department. So I don't fault those young people one bit. I don't condone, any property destruction, but I also understand why they did what they did.
I now want to go to, of course, hear the NAACP there in Minneapolis, and that is Leslie Redmond. Leslie, obviously, there are tensions. People are upset. People are angry about what is taking place. Now you have the mayor. I'm going to play in a second with the mayor. He is now pressuring the district attorney to saying these 4 cops should be charged with murder.
Yes, and it's the right move. I also want to make sure that we bring to attention Chief Arredondo, who is the first African-American chief of police that we've ever had in Minneapolis. And he was the one who made the call to fire those 4 officers. And this is something that was unprecedented. You never see almost a 24-hour turn. He takes bold, courageous statements and say what we saw was horrendous and we need to rectify this situation. And so that was a huge That was a huge deal. And I think that it created a platform with the right decision for calling for these officers to be prosecuted. And this is something that we've been calling for as well.
In fact, this is the mayor right here speaking today in his call for the DA to step up.
And I've wrestled with, more than anything else over the last 36 hours, one fundamental question. Why is the man who killed George Floyd not in jail? If you had done it, or I had done it, we would be behind bars right now. And I cannot come up with a good answer to that question. And so I'm calling on Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman to act on the evidence before him. I'm calling on him to charge the arresting officer in this case. We cannot turn a blind eye. It is on us as leaders to see this for what it is and call it what it is. George Floyd deserves justice. His family deserves justice. The black community deserves justice. And our city deserves justice.
That, of course, is Mayor Jacob Frey there. Nekima, to Leslie's point, how quickly things move. Now, obviously, again, a firing is one thing, arrest, trial, and conviction is another. But I think this points to folks understanding public protest and pressure and why those things matter because of how fast this chief moved to fire these 4 cops.
Absolutely. We've been pounding the pavement here for the last 5 years, demanding police accountability, transparency, systemic reforms, and justice. And it was our activism and our advocacy that actually led to us having the first black police chief in the history of the city of Minneapolis. And because we have a black police chief who's connected to the community, we can actually pick up the phone and call the chief. We can text him. We can let him know about things happening in the community. And being able to connect with the chief, be able to present our perspective on what's happening, played a role in the chief looking at this situation differently than other chiefs have in the past, and showing courageous leadership by holding these cops accountable. It really should be a no-brainer for these cops to be fired, but it has been difficult, if not impossible, for an officer to be fired for killing a black person. I have not seen that happen. Most of the officers who have killed black people in the city of Minneapolis, they're still on the force to this day, still collecting a paycheck, preparing for a pension, which is completely unacceptable.
Sorry, Leslie, your response as well.
I couldn't agree with Nekima any more. I think that it's true, and people really do need to know that people on the ground have been fighting since Jamar Clark, right? We said justice for Jamar. That's what led to 18-day occupation before precinct, and we will not stop fighting until Floyd gets justice. It's like Ida B. Wells, one of the founders of the NAACP. She used to say, a man was lynched today, and that's exactly what we saw. We saw a lynching without the rope, and enough is enough. Not only do we need justice for Floyd, but we need justice for the black community so that this can stop happening and we won't have to protest. The National NAACP started a hashtag, "We are done dying," and I just want to echo those sentiments.
Obviously, the next steps. Have we heard from the DA? Has the DA said anything? Nekima?
We haven't heard from Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman, who has a history of failing to hold police officers accountable. As a matter of fact, the only killer cop that he's held accountable was a black Muslim Somali man, Muhammad Noor, who I believe accidentally shot and killed an affluent white woman, Justine Damon. So his history is giving cops a pass, a slap on the wrist, etc. But tonight, people are at his house right now protesting outside of his house, demanding justice and demanding charges in this case. And I applaud them for going there. Sometimes you have to take the battle right to the front door of the person who is responsible for making the decisions. And that's what needs to happen here.
Nekima Levy-Armstrong, as well as Leslie Redmond. We certainly appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just 1 moment. All right, folks, we want you to support the Black-owned company Ceek. Mary Spiel, her sister, she created these amazing headphones. I love it being black and gold. I know, Scott, it's all good. And again, they are 360-degree sound headphones. Y'all should have a slideshow. Y'all should be rolling. Thank you very much. She created these Bluetooth. You can listen to them for gaming as well. Folks, the sound is amazing. Let me tell y'all something. I got about 10 pair of headphones. I've got Bose. I got a whole bunch of them. But these 4D 360-degree headphones are amazing. They've got a great discount for those of you who support this show. You can use this code to get these headphones. They're phenomenal. Right there. All you got to do is go to Ceek.com, use the promo code RMVIP2020. RMVIP2020. In addition to that, folks, she created this virtual reality headset. All right, so come back to me, guys. So this is real simple. If you go to Ceek.com, or if you're looking at some 360-degree videos on YouTube, you simply place your phone right here into the headset. And then what you do is you just put the headset on, just like this here. And so you can then watch these virtual reality videos here as well, folks. I'm telling you, it's a whole different experience when you've watched a VR video or a 360-degree video, because what happens is the way it's shot, you can literally look all around you, and that's the whole deal. In fact, we're going to, next week, hopefully we're going to have it taken care of. I actually shot some 360-degree video right here in our studio. And so we're going to upload it so you can be able to see literally this entire set. You can see the whole set. You can see what's on the side, what's on the behind. It's pretty great. So go to Ceek.com and you can get this VR headset or you can get these headphones right here. Don't forget, use that promo code RMVIP2020. We support Black-owned businesses. This is a sister. She's a native of Ghana. She actually created these devices. She has that site, Ceek.com, and so it's some great stuff there. So please, we want y'all to support Mary Spiel and Ceek.com. Don't forget, RMVIP2020.